Flashing red and blue lights streaked across the misty shipping yard, bouncing off rusted steel containers. Maya Jefferson, wrapped in a gray hoodie, walked calmly through the glow, her duffel bag heavy with inspection tools. "Drop the bag! Hands where we can see them!" One of the rookie cops barked. She stopped. Not in fear, but in calculation. Officer Luke gripped his pistol tighter, jaw clenched. Dean, his younger partner, hesitated, eyes flicking between Maya and the dark sea behind her. The wind howled through the cranes. Maya exhaled, slow and steady, then raised her hands. "You really don't want to do this," she said softly. Luke sneered. "That a threat?" Maya tilted her head slightly, eyes locked on him. But when she turned her head just slightly, they realized she wasn't afraid of dying. She was measuring the distance. Just hours earlier, Maya stood barefoot on the mat of her neighborhood gym, teaching a class of women how to defend themselves. Her voice was calm, deliberate. "Control the situation," she said, demonstrating a hold. "Not the person. Fear makes you sloppy." Meanwhile, across town, two rookie officers sat in their patrol car, desperate to prove themselves after a reprimand for hesitation under pressure. When the radio crackled, "Suspicious individual near Pier 9, Luke grinned. "Finally, something we can't screw up." They sped off, ignoring backup protocol. Now, in the chill of the docks, Maya faced them under flickering floodlights. "I'm with Port Security," she explained, nodding toward her badge clipped to her belt. "Just finished my shift," Luke smirked. "Sure, and I'm the president." Dean frowned, catching the faint military patch sewn on her duffel. Maya's gaze hardened. "Last warning, officer." "Put the gun down." Luke stepped closer, voice sharp. "You threatening me?" A seagull screeched overhead, the only sound between them. Then movement. Lightning-fast, silent precision. The next second, the sound that echoed through the yard wasn't a gunshot. It was the click of her disarming him. The metallic clack of Luke's pistol hitting the ground echoed through the yard. Before Dean could even blink, Maya pivoted, fluid, controlled, twisting his wrist just enough to make him drop his weapon without pain. "You're both green," she said quietly, voice steady as still water, and scared. "That's a bad mix." Luke scrambled for his radio, shouting, "Officer down!" Maya stepped forward, kicked the mic away, and caught it midair. "Relax," she said, ejecting the magazine with one flick. "No one's down, yet." She placed both guns on a nearby crate and stepped back, hands raised, calm, centered. "Now," she said softly, "we can all breathe." The rookies froze. Luke's face flushed with anger and humiliation. Dean's eyes darted between Maya's calm expression and the disarmed pistols. He finally whispered, "Who the hell are you?" Maya tilted her head, a faint smirk breaking through. "Just someone who used to train people like you, before they learned manners." Overhead, the dull thump of helicopter blades rolled across the sky. Backup was coming. Luke panicked, pointing toward her duffel. "What's in there?" "Nothing dangerous," Maya replied, "unless you count patience." Dean's breathing steadied. Luke's didn't. She looked between them, voice low but firm. "You've got 30 seconds to decide whether you're victims or professionals." For a moment, neither spoke, just the hum of the sea and the distant hum of engines approaching. Luke swallowed hard, muttering, "You're under arrest." Maya sighed. "Wrong choice." The approaching helicopter light bathed them all in white glare. What would you do if you were there? Double down on pride or admit you were wrong? But when the backup arrived, it wasn't the rookies they came for. It was her. The helicopter floodlight dimmed as a senior officer stepped out, hand raised. "Commander Jefferson?" He called over the wind. Dean blinked. Luke froze mid-step. The man holstered his weapon and saluted. "Ma'am, your credentials checked out. Navy SEAL Special Operations Division." Silence. Only the ocean wind dared to move. Dean's mouth fell open. Luke's grip on his holster trembled. We thought you were a suspect," he stammered. Maya's tone cut like steel wrapped in silk. "You didn't think." "You reacted." She walked toward them, slow, deliberate. "You pointed loaded weapons at a citizen without confirmation. And that citizen," she added, pausing beside Luke, "could have ended you both before you blinked." The senior officer exhaled, nodding to his men to stand down. "Officers," he said quietly, "you just pointed guns at a war hero." Dean's voice cracked. "Ma'am, we didn't mean—" Maya interrupted softly. "Intent doesn't erase consequence." She glanced at them both, gaze softening just slightly. "You've got potential. But power without control?" She tapped Luke's badge. "That destroys careers. And people." Dean nodded, humbled. Luke couldn't look up. "Share this if you still believe true strength comes from calm, not control." But before she left, Maya gave them one last command. And it wasn't what they expected. Maya stood under the harsh glow of the helicopter light, looking between the two rookies, their faces pale, their pride shattered. She holstered her own calm like a weapon and said evenly, "Tomorrow. 600, my training facility on Harbor Street. If you're going to carry a weapon, you'd better learn how to use your head first." They nodded without argument. The next morning, both Dean and Luke showed up, unarmed, dressed in gym clothes, nervous but determined. Maya didn't yell. She didn't posture. Instead, she taught how to stand without trembling, how to look someone in the eye without escalating, how to read fear and not feed it. "Respect earns compliance," she said, pacing between them. "Fear earns mistakes." Days turned to weeks, drills, lectures, bruised egos, and new understanding. One night, Dean and Luke responded to a volatile call downtown. A man with a knife in a grocery store. This time, no shouting, no drawn guns. Just calm voices, slow steps, and surrender without bloodshed. Later that week, they found Maya back at the docks, arms crossed, watching the sunset over the water. Luke said quietly, "You were right, ma'am." "Control isn't weakness." Maya turned slightly, the fading light catching her eyes. "It's survival," she replied. The three of them stood in silence, the wind carrying only the sound of gulls, and peace earned the hard way. Subscribe for more stories where composure turns danger into discipline. What if true warriors aren't the loudest ones, but the ones who never need to prove it?